Hello guys, this is Alyssa Martin here, and we are going to be going over how to create a new branching form in Microsoft Forms. So the first thing you need to do is to create your new branching form is to click on New Quiz. And so let's start off by just titling our quiz. Let's call this the branching form test, and I am going to be using factoring as our topic of choice. So the first thing we need to do is add in our questions, like we would do with any Microsoft form. So I'm going to start off by doing a total of 4 multiple choice questions. A technique that I like to use, especially with doing math questions, is to actually just take your questions and save them as an image with the multiple choice options in there. So then you can just type the question, which would be factor, and then we're going to add in our options. So I have the options in the image already, so I don't have to type any of the math. My options are just going to literally be typing in A, B, C, and D. And then we're going to mark our correct answer. So for this one, the correct answer is C. So I'm just going to check off the little box next to it to say that that's the correct answer. So we're just going to create the form. Going on to my next question, going to use the same type of technique. Now, if you're looking at the question types that I have chosen, I'm going to be following the following format. For a branching form, I would say make the first question be a key topic that you want your students to learn that is the topic you want them to learn. So here I want them to know how to factor out a GCF. So I have a question like that. The next question that I would write would be a question that would be kind of a building block topic, getting towards the topic of factoring out the GCF. So here I have a question where they are just having to identify the GCF, and I would type in your questions in that format. It's going to make it a lot easier when you go to the branching options to order your quiz. So I'm going to say the correct answer is D. So I'm going to just do 4 questions just so you can get a flavor of how to set these up. And like I said, with math, best way to do this, I would say, is just type it in a Word document, do a screenshot, and insert those images. This would be factor. Option A, B, C, and D. And this one is going to have option C be correct. And then add another question. I'm going to do our 4th one, so then I'll have all of these questions uploaded for us. And then I'm going to add my options, so A, B, C, and D. And for this one, the correct answer is A, and this one I'll just say factor. So what I do with assigning the points is for the first question, the topic you want the students to learn, I would say that's 10 points. If they get that question wrong, we're going to have it branch towards the easier one. So if they get that correct, I'm going to make that 5 points. So the more challenging one, I make 10, and the easier one, I make 5. Just kind of my convention for setting these up. So now that you have all your questions inserted, what you're going to want to do is click over to the side. You see where they have the little dots, more form settings? You're going to click on branching. And so what it says is for question number 1, the question we want the students to get correct. Well, if they get that question correct, we don't need to see if they know the building blocks. So we're just going to jump to question 3. If they get the question wrong, well, we want them to go to the building block question, which would be the second question, question 2. For question number 2, well, this is the building block question. No matter if they get it right or wrong, we would like them to be able to go to question 3 and see if they know how to do that type of factoring question. Question number 3, this was the more challenging factoring question. So if they get that wrong, we want them to go to the building block 1, the next question. If they get it correct, well, in this case, they would go to the next more challenging question, but since I only have 4 questions in this, they'll just end the form. And with the last one, no matter what they do, we want them to just finish the form. So once we've done our branching options, we're just going to go back. We now have our branching options in there, and we're going to share. So if we want to share this, you could say only people in my organization can respond. I do that because the students have their codes and they can type in their Fulton County email and I'd be able to see their results. So all I would do would be just copy this link, and in a new website page, I would insert the link and I would have the students fill this out. So you can see for the first question, it says factor. So if the students know this skill and they know how to do it, they would answer C correctly. It's not going to ask them a building block question. It's just going to bring them to the next topic. But let's say they don't understand the next topic. So for this next question, let's say they answer it incorrectly. Then it's going to ask them the more fundamental question. In this case, let's say they got that correct, and they will be brought to the end of the form.